All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan buzzing. Jonathan is buzzing. He loves the intro. I love the intro. Mark, do you love the intro or what?
I'm in love with that intro, man.
Nice one. Boys, first of all, shout out to Amara Jiwa. Hopefully I pronounced that right, man. Do apologize if I haven't. Good day to you, mates. That's fantastic. We've got Deep State. Yes. Lewandowski missed a pen. Is there a match going on at the moment? I'm not really sure. Is there a Bayern Munich game going on? Let us know. Just quickly as well, Jasper Nanchi. Hello to you, Jasper. All right, guys. Today's show is all about the preview. These matches, boys, they're coming thick and fast. I can't keep up. You've got the preview, you've got the review, then you've got all these other news in between. There's just too many things to look into. But ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let's introduce to you Mark Stevens. Mark, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, thank you. Excited to be here again. I couldn't be last week, so I'm excited to be back with you guys. And looking forward to the game, as always.
Brilliant, bro. We did miss you last week, actually. But, nonetheless, we knew you were going to be back this week. So good to have you back.
Thank you.
My man, Jonathan, how you doing?
Mate, I just love that intro. Every time you're on a stream, I always make sure that, the start, I click on it nice and early. So I just pop along to it. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm obviously very happy with Chelsea's form, the resurgence under Tuchel. And, I think it's going to be a trickier game than it would have been a few weeks ago. Looking forward to talking about it.
100%. More people are sort of joining us. Extreme HD, thank you for that. COYB, is that?
Come on, you Blues.
Come on, you Blues. Yeah, man, I had a mental block all of a sudden. I'm like, what is that? Kobe? I'm like, is he trying to say Kobe? Yeah, come on, you Blues. Oh my God, 10:36 p.m. I'm half sleepy. Sanketh, up the Chelsea. Yes, of course. Yusuf, yeah, you know what? Shout out to Yusuf, guys. Just quickly before we start the show, this guy, honestly, every time my show is up, like I get it ready, he's the first one to just comment and say hello. Cannot wait. So I do appreciate that, Yusuf, man. Honestly, do appreciate that. What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing great. Anirudh, just quickly as well, Ms. With Chelsea Prop as always. Thank you for that. Boys, let's get straight into this now. As Jonathan was saying, guys, I've been excited, man. I've been excited so much since Thomas Tuchel has taken over. I've been tweeting a lot saying that literally 2 weeks ago, I could not have imagined where we are right now. I know Jonathan has been sort of talking around and saying that 7 points, Wolves, Burnley, Spurs, 7 points. We need 7 points. And I just, 2 weeks ago, I was like, 7 points? I mean, let's just hope we can get maybe 3 draws, and that'll do me as well. Do you know what I mean? But here we are. We've got that 7 points, and our football, defensive structure, tactical, awareness, the way we are setting up, the way we are passing, the little triangles, the formation, that we've got now under Thomas Tuchel, the balance between experience and youth. So it's not like a whole heap of experience. There's Mason Mount, there's Callum Hudson-Odoi, there's Reece James. Everyone's getting an opportunity. And, we've seen the comeback of Marcos Alonso as well. So that, the fringe players are getting a bit of a comeback with Rudiger. So, the Spurs victory, fantastic. And now we're going to this particular match, Sheffield United away from home. We have beaten them earlier this season. However, Jonathan, I'll go to you first up, my man. I am a bit weary about these sort of games because this is another new challenge for Thomas Tuchel. I know, he's played Wolves, he's played Burnley, he's played, Spurs, all different sort of challenges. Yeah, they sort of sit back as well, but all different teams have different sort of qualities. But for me, this one, for the first time, we're going into a match where we are straight up favorites. And I don't want our team to be complacent because I feel like I've seen this Chelsea too many times where we've been complacent and the opposition has put us away. And Sheffield United are in a bit of a form at the moment with 3 wins out of the 5. how do you expect us? Do you sort of expect that Thomas Tuchel, being very experienced in this sort of level, will let the lads know that there's no room for complacency here? We've got to get a win here.
100%. I think just the way he approaches press conferences, the way he speaks to his players, you can tell he's switched on and he knows exactly what he needs from his players. And I just can't see him allowing us to turn up, and like last season we turned up and got beaten 3-0. We drew 2-2 at home. Last year we were a bit complacent against these smaller teams, but under Tuchel, the way we've approached each game, the way we've improved under every game, I just can't see that happening under Tuchel, and I feel like we're going to go out there and just put on another performance. We look a lot more fluid going forward in terms of movement. We just need to add a few more goals, be a bit more clinical. We've only got the 3 in the 3 games, but I think it's going to come with time, and I think it could go one of 2 ways. It could be a really tight game, which I'm predicting. I feel like Sheffield United's form is obviously really good recently. They're going to be really up for the game. Or it could just go the other way, where we come out and we steamroller them. I don't think it's going to be an in-between. I think it's going to be very, very tight, or there could just be a load of goals. And it's a massive plus point that Ampadu isn't playing for them, because he's been really good for them lately. So obviously we'll get onto lineups and teams and formations and stuff. But at the moment, the message needs to be, if you're up for the Tottenham game, do not let that level drop against Sheffield United, because there's absolutely no point of beating Spurs in a derby. Obviously, everyone's going to be happy about that. But if you then go and drop points against Sheffield United, it just it wastes that really, really good performance and victory.
Just undoes everything.
Exactly.
So, Mark, moving on to you, my man. I just want to bring this up because I want to refer to the form guide of Sheffield United, because as much as people want to sort of say that Sheffield, obviously, they're in the bottom of the ladder at the moment, they're dead last. But it's interesting, the last 5 games, win against Newcastle over here. Obviously, they got touched up by Tottenham. I'm not going to worry too much about the FA Cup. Man United, away from home, Old Trafford, they beat them 2-1. Man City, just a narrow loss as well. And then West Brom, it was a comeback win. They were actually losing 1-0 and they beat them 2-1. So 3 wins out of the last 5. Does that worry you a little bit?
Well, it's obviously they're doing much better than what they've done during the season. I think they've only won 3 games and they've drawn 2 and they've lost 17, if I'm right. So when you look at that picture, I think even though they're doing much better, I think it's a must win for us. It's true what Jonathan says. It could be tight, because what I've seen in Tuchel's Chelsea basically is that we've gone back to basics. Sorry. So we've improved a lot more defensively. I also saw a stat today where Son's shot on the Tottenham game against us was the first.
Yeah, it was the first one
against us. So basically, we've improved a lot defensively. So I do think that we can get 3 points out of this one. The only thing is that I think that we're missing quite a lot up front. So I'm not sure if we're going to score as many goals, because the goals that we've scored so far have been from Azpilicueta, Marcus Alonso, and Jorginho in a penalty. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot of goals, to be honest.
Yeah, no, you know what? Look, Jonathan's already touched up on it in the sense that we do need to be clinical up front.
Yeah.
Against Spurs, there were couple of moments. I think there was one from Timo Werner where there was a last-minute tackle from, can't remember which defender, might have been Alderweireld. That was very close. And there were a few other moments where we got really close. We just didn't finish it off. This is something I've got no doubt Thomas Tuchel is going to do his best. Quick question from Rafa Javed. Thank you. Shout out to Rafa Javed for joining all the time as well. This one's directed to Mark. Mark, you did speak about Jose Jimenez not that long ago in this particular show here, and you were quite positive that there could be something here. What's the thoughts at the moment?
So I know that in good hand that Jose Jimenez was something that Frank Lampard wanted, and the board was quite willing to get him as well. The thing is that I don't know if you've seen my last tweet. I've tweeted about Dayot Upamecano, which seems to be one of the first options as well for the CB position.
Yeah.
I know Bayern Munich are after him as well, but you never know what's going to happen. We don't know if Chelsea can hijack that.
Yeah.
And going back to Jimenez, I haven't heard anything else since the last time I spoke about it. In the same way that I spoke about Marcus Alonso, but with the changes that we've had with the managers, I'm not sure right now if something's going to change. I will try to get some information, and instead of tweeting it out, I'll wait for a Saturday morning with you guys, so we can say that.
Just quickly though, there's a lot of talk about David Alaba at the moment, and apparently Thomas Tuchel being a big fan.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this particular news?
The last thing that I heard about that, and it was quite a while ago, it was that Alaba wanted a move to Real Madrid. So I'm not sure how what our options are to get David Alaba. You know, in the last week, I've read about Alaba. I've read about Niklas Sule as well, which is a player that I really like. And then we have Dayot Upamecano. So I think we've got 3 options, and I can see Chelsea getting one of those 3 at least.
No, that's a fair point. If we get David Alaba, if we can snatch that, wow. But we digress a little bit in regards to that. But a good question, Rafa. Hopefully that's answered it. Thor Hammer, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Honestly, from the 3 games I've seen, I believe we've found a hidden gem in Tuchel. I think the board will back him, and he'll be here for many years. Just quickly, I want to answer that too. Look, man, I think if we continue like this, look, his contract is littered with a lot of incentives and objectives that he has to meet this season. One of them being is top 4. I think he's quite capable of getting the top 4. That victory against Spurs was very much needed. You look at some of the fixtures that are coming up for us, and also the rivals that are directly participating in this top 4. We could possibly catch up on them. You got Liverpool playing City this week. You got Man United playing Everton. I think Liverpool has some other very, very tough game. I think they've got Leicester coming up straight after City. So you never know what could happen here, and very soon we could find ourselves back into top 4. And I'm always a bit weary about Man United, even though they're looking okay up the table at the moment. But they're very, very unpredictable. Same with Leicester, even though this season they've been going okay. I'm not sure, without Vardy consistently firing. I know Maddison and a few other people, probably Harvey Barnes, they're firing, but at the end of the day, there is a lot more games to come. And when it comes to the crunch time, that's when they really need to step up. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Besides City, I think any other team is quite capable of being dropped out. So hopefully, I've somewhat answered that. Jonathan, let's move back into this particular. Let's look at this Sheffield United formation. I think, they've. I don't know. Earlier this season, I think they at one point trying out 4 at the back, and they just shifted away, or was that someone else? Or maybe that might have been Wolves. Maybe these guys have always tried the 3 at the back, and they haven't really gone away from that particular philosophy. But they struggled a lot in the earlier parts of this season. But for some reason, for the last few games, and I think one of the key players is this man right here, Ethan Ampadu. Him being in the back line, I've not watched too many Sheffield United games, but I have been keeping in touch with, their admin from Twitter, and they seem to be tweeting a lot about Ethan Ampadu after almost every match when they've done well. So this is good news for us, knowing that Ethan Ampadu cannot play against us. I mean, looking at this formation as well, Jonathan, 3 at the back, overlapping, I think fullbacks, that's how they play. But these players, McGoldrick, Burke, especially McGoldrick, this guy has a knack of showing up against bigger teams. This is going to be interesting, Jonathan, because I think besides Wolves, who play a similar style of the 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, whatever you want to say, we are now coming up against another opponent which will sort of play the same style as us. Do you feel this is going to be a massive tactical battle as well?
100%. I feel like, we have seen through it at the back under Tuchel. We're coming up against a team like this in form, who are slightly different in the fact they've got the 3 central midfielders, which means we could get outnumbered at times, I feel like Tuchel might actually change it and just go 4 at the back, because everyone's expecting us just to continue this 3 at the back. Sheffield United will probably set up for that. And if we then change it, maybe a 4 at the back, play an extra 1 in the middle, maybe go 2 up front as well. I just feel like, he's full of surprises. And whatever he does, to be honest, I'm pretty confident that we're going to do well, because we've come out or players have come out and said, they understand exactly what is needed under Tuchel. It seems that the players are well drilled in everything already, and it's been not even 2 weeks; it's been 3 games, and we look so comfortable in possession now. Whereas a few weeks ago, every time we had the ball, we just wanted to get rid of it. Whether it was backward, sideward, we just wanted to get rid of it. We had no options on the ball. Against Tottenham, yes, Mount and Hudson-Odoi, it wasn't their best games. I thought Mount was really good, other than obviously his final product. But the fact they were just constantly coming for the ball, the amount of times they turned the Tottenham players, even Jorginho was turning players, on a sixpence. Yeah. We just so confident on the ball, which is a stark contrast to a few weeks ago, as I said. So I just feel like whatever formation he sets us up in, which will be different for every game, I'm confident that the players are drilled and they know exactly what's needed of them. And he's probably looked at this game a few days ago before Tottenham and in his mind already picked the team, in my opinion, because he just looks that prepared. Every time on the touchline, he's talking to the players constantly, giving them instructions.
Barking orders all the time.
It's just refreshing because he's positive. He just, it's not about, having an animated manager and someone who's not so vocal on the touchline. We just seem to, as a club, and a lot of English fans, especially, I know, we just like the vocal manager on the sideline, just seeming to get involved and the passion when he comes on the pitch after the game, hugging the players. Again, it's little things. And people, joke about Klopp and Pep, but the best managers are fantastic man managers. They're also very good tactically. And we've got a manager that tactically knows what to do in certain games. So Tottenham
He's got the full package. He's got the full package.
Yeah, very. And, earlier on, someone mentioned about it being a steal getting him in. The more I see of him, the more he talks, the more we play. It's seemingly the transition has been so easy. So yeah, I'm really, really confident. But as I said, I feel like we may change the formation. And there's a comment from Rafai from Ampadu about if we play the 3 at the back, is he good enough to come in under Tuchel? Possibly. If we play 3 at the back instead of a Rudiger, maybe. Albeit I know Rudiger's one of his favourites, and Azpilicueta's not got years left in him. So
this is a really good comment. This is a really good comment.
For me, Ampadu's a top 6, top 8 player playing in a team which is nowhere near as I wouldn't say technical, because they have got some good players, but he's way above them in terms of levels. So they are a functional team that play as a team. Last year they got to where they were playing as a team, and I know I'm going on a little bit, but just to look at their fixtures. That Bristol Rovers game in the FA Cup has changed their season. And then I talked to you when we, before we went live, I said, I'm looking at some highlights. There's no point of looking at Sheffield United sort of before their first win, because they're two different teams. That win, they've got 6 or 5 wins now in the last 7 games. They've only lost to Tottenham and Man City. Completely different team to what they were early in the season. And it seems like that Bristol Rovers game was a catalyst to remind these players, if we play like a team, if we dig in, if we attack at the right moments, we can be successful. So, yeah, I say it's going to be very, very interesting how we set up.
No, 100%. Before I go to Mark, I just want to quickly ask you, Jonathan, because you did say that you won't be surprised if you change the formation. I want to ask you, though, first of all, Rafa, honestly, that's a brilliant comment. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good way to look at Ethan Ampadu, because he is playing in the 3 at the back with Sheffield United, and he's actually doing well. And him playing on the left side, let's say where Rudiger plays at the moment, that would be a fantastic option for Thomas Tuchel. And I think that may be an upgrade. That's actually probably an upgrade with Ethan Ampadu's ability to play from the left with his left foot. So, that's something to look forward to. Hopefully, Thomas Tuchel pays attention to how Ethan Ampadu is going for the rest of the season. But, yeah, Jonathan, before we go to Mark, just quickly, you did mention that, you wouldn't be surprised if we go away from 3 at the back and perhaps a 4. But you got to admit, though, 3 at the back has been helping us out defensively a lot. I mean, I think our total balance of the team from front to back by having the 3 with Alonso as one of the wing backs, and also the whole ideology of 5 sort of 3, the 2 double sixes, so 5 sort of helping in defense and 5 attacking. that balance has been good in transition. Do you really think he will probably change this winning formula around at the moment?
Yeah, we have looked really, really good. And it's been one of the reasons we've got a solid base, solid foundation, which allows us to then go forward with ease. And obviously the win-backs have been a massive part of it. I just think Sheffield United play that system. Everyone's now expected it. People are now thinking we're probably going to play three at the back to the end of the season. And these quality managers, they always try and outsmart people.
True.
That's why I wouldn't put it past him to go 4-3-2-1 maybe. So you sort of sacrifice one of the wing backs and just put someone a little bit more central, like a Kante. Maybe if you add a Kante into that midfield, coming up against three very solid, not massively attacking midfielders in Sheffield United, it could help us. It's just a thought, really, just because, as I said, I feel like he may want to keep us guessing, and he's always looking for a tactical advantage, and maybe having another man in the middle just to link up play with the two that we had, like we had against Tottenham, the two attacking midfielders could help. So I wouldn't, put my life on it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I hope you don't put your life on it, because I think it will be three at the back. But quick shout out to Miko. Miko, thanks, man. You've always commented. You always showed up in the streams as well. And Mark Gihey, once he comes back, killing it for Swansea 100%, man. This guy's a powerhouse. As another good shout out over there with all the centre backs that we linked with. Now, Mark, I want to talk to you. Let's talk to you about our team. I want to talk a little bit about team before we get into our formations, lineups, and all of that, which becomes all fancy. I want to really talk about Kovacic and Kante, right? These two, they've been getting battered, not that long ago. Look, I've been getting a bit of hate in the timeline because I keep talking about the Frank Lampard era, and people are saying, drop it, he's already gone. I'm not talking about Frank Lampard era for the sake of Frank Lampard. I'm talking about it in the sense of using it as a reference. Because what I'm seeing is, Mark, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely wrong here. I see a lot of people, when they see Kovacic and Kante start as a double six, they're like, oh, no, you know what I mean? Like, here we go, Kovacic and Jorginho again. Like, I mean, they're going to get bodied and so on and so forth. And I've been saying, look, you've got that ideology in your head of how Frank plays with a lone DM and attacking eights. And if you think about the game in that manner, Jorginho as a lone DM and Kovacic as one of the eights, that's never going to work. It's never, ever going to work, especially the way Frank Lampard played that system. And I've always said, these players are not bad players. They're very, very intelligent, very good players. I think it was Tim Sherwood. I'm not sure if you guys seen that video. There's a video that's circulating around. I tweeted it early in the morning, and Tim Sherwood was talking about how these two players have excellent IQ, footballing brains. They understand tactics. They listen to the manager, exactly what needs to happen. They know when to. They control the tempo of the game. They know when to hold the ball. They know when to quicken up the passes and really go at the opposition. Your thoughts? Are you enjoying the combination of the double sixes of Jorginho and Kovacic at the moment, or do you want to sort of strip this apart?
Mm-hmm. Well, if I'm honest, I have to say that I do like it. The thing is that I think that in the past, the problem is that for this to work, for this two to work, they need to have a solid backline, right? And that's something that they haven't had for quite a long time. And now that they do, for me, they're looking quite good. And not only that, but I remember even speaking this with you, Miz, last season.
Yeah.
And we've seen some brilliant stuff from Jorginho and Kovacic together. I can remember a game against Manchester City last season where it was a pleasure to watch. I mean, it was even humiliating.
Even though we lost, honestly, we did well. We did well.
We did really well. And, for me, those are... I've always defended Jorginho. I've never said anything wrong about him. I've always defended Kovacic too.
You have, actually.
Yeah. And because I think he's great, to be honest. I think he's so unique in his way of playing and the dirty job that he does that no one seems to appreciate. I think it's amazing. So that's an absolute yes for me. I do miss N'Golo Kante. I think he's one of my favorite players, and I've always defended him, even when people wanted Declan Rice and they wanted, I don't know why, to sell N'Golo Kante. That was something that I couldn't understand, right? So for me, I think we've got a great midfield. And yes, I think that if they're plan to work in the right manner, they've got clear instructions of what they should do. And as Rafael said in his comment a bit earlier, he said Tuchel was top 3 tacticians in the world. So I couldn't agree more. I think that, as Jonathan and you have said as well, Tuchel was going to rotate his formation depending on who we're going to play against.
Yeah.
And the guy know what he's doing, and especially if there's something that Tuchel has demonstrated to all of us, is that he can be unpredictable with his subs. And you never know what's going through his mind and what he's going to bring on the pitch, and not even for us Chelsea fans. So imagine the opposition, right? So I am quite confident, and yes, I really do like this midfield that we have.
Nah, same, man. I've always said it, man. I've always respected these 2 players. I just said back during Frank Lampard time that they don't work, so they shouldn't. If that's how Frank plays, then he shouldn't play them because they don't work. So I've always advocated use other players. But now, obviously, under Thomas Tuchel, it's a different style. 100%. I'm all up for these 2 to play because they control the midfield. Shout out to Mia, thanks for joining, my man. Hey, lads, just tuned in to see Mark spitting facts about Jorginho and Kovacic. Love it. Brilliant. But just quickly as well, Mark, before I go back to Jonathan, Kante, I've said in recent times, for me, N'Golo Kante is a very much of a player that is suitable for the counter-attacking football. Kante is not someone who likes to control the ball the way Kovacic and Jorginho. He doesn't want to take the ball so many times, doesn't want to touch the ball so many times, doesn't want to pass and do all of those nitty-gritty things that Jorginho and Kovacic does. What Kante loves, he enjoys doing is seek, destroy, run around, intercept. If we're defending deep, he wants to get the ball and create a quick, fast counter attack and link up with the wingers and the forwards and lay the ball off to them, like the way we've seen him do when he was in Leicester, the championship team over there. The way he did it with Matic for us when we won under Conte. For me, whenever we play against low blocks, for example, in recent times we've played against Wolves, Burnley, and Tottenham to a certain degree. Most parts of the first half they were sort of sitting back. I don't know if Kante is the right personality or the personnel for that particular match where he needs to dictate play. He needs to find the passes. We've seen, even in when he came in the second half, where Tottenham were pressing us a lot and pushing us a lot to get that equaliser. Kovacic went off. The whole idea of keeping Kovacic and Jorginho is you have the ball, so the opposition doesn't have it. So you're in control. Whereas Kante, when he came on, and I'm not having a go at Kante one bit because that was off the back of an injury and it's his first game back. But we looked a little bit dodgy when he came on. He turned over the ball a couple of times as well. And there were instances where Spurs were coming at us. So where do you see the future of Kante? Because obviously Thomas Tuchel has said that he's always wanted someone like N'Golo Kante. He's always wanted this player, and now he's finally got him. Where do you see someone like Kante fitting into Thomas Tuchel's, program, I suppose?
Mm-hmm. So, I think we haven't seen enough of Tuchel's Chelsea to give you a right answer to that. But I also heard what Tuchel said. He wants Kante. I can't see Kante going anywhere, not in the near future. And yeah, I absolutely agree with what you say. I think N'Golo Kante is, as I said, he's one of my favorite ones. So I'm not having a go at him, but I do think, and I do agree that he is more comfortable when he has space to run, basically.
Yeah.
Because he is so fast and he's like boom, boom, boom. He's everywhere if there's space. But when we play against low blocks, it's true that you don't see him as comfortable. He's not as comfortable as Kovacic or Jorginho with the ball in his feet. Jorginho is a leader and N'Golo Kante isn't a leader. And Kovacic, I wouldn't say he's a leader, but he knows what to do with the ball in his feet. And for me, what he does as a midfielder, he's one of the best. And it's true, it's something that N'Golo Kante, he's just not good at. but I think he should be a player that you need to bring in, especially in big games, like quick games, like a Champions League game or a game against, I don't know, Manchester United, for example.
I think this comment right here from Deep State is what you're trying to say. Kante might be useful against top teams with quality. We don't get much possession. I think that's exactly how I would deploy Kante when, say, for example, we come up against Man City or a Bayern Munich, a team that wants to control the ball a lot more than us, or even Liverpool to a certain degree, where they may want to control it. But then again, I think their midfield generally doesn't like to hold the ball that as much as we probably would want to with our midfield. But someone like City or Bayern Munich, N'Golo Kante, honestly, will be gold in those sort of situations. But yeah, Jonathan, let's move on to you, my man. I want to talk about a couple of more players before we go into the formation. Two players that have been doing really well under Thomas Tuchel. There's been a lot of players that have been doing well, but two youngsters that I want to talk about now is Mason Mount and Callum Hudson-Odoi. These two players have been phenomenal. I don't know if you've seen the quotes from Callum Hudson-Odoi just recently. Let me see if I can actually bring that up. Just bear with me, guys. Simon Johnson actually had that out today, so let me see if I can just get that out for you guys. Just bear with me. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's bring that up. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see this. Okay. Hopefully that's clear, guys. Yeah, that's clear enough.
Yeah.
And Hudson-Odoi is saying here, I'm liking it because it's motivating when a manager is on the side, giving you instructions and pushing you and shouting at you. I'm enjoying every bit of it. He has come with a real purpose to try and make us win games as much as quickly as possible. I'm so impressed by Callum Hudson-Odoi, and he seems like this is what he's wanted for a long, long time, like to be guided, to be given the instructions, to be barked upon when the match starts, to get those instructions from the sidelines, basically keeping him on the toes, because at the end of the day, he's a youngster. He needs the guidance. Mason Mount's another one who I feel he has found the right position, which is that inside forward position that he's been playing for Thomas Tuchel, sort of more central, just behind the striker, linking up with Jorginho and Kovacic, linking up with the forwards, linking up with the wing backs. Talk to me about these two players and their mindset at the moment with a manager like Thomas Tuchel.
Hudson-Odoi is a completely different animal under Tuchel. Completely different animal. He's the player that everyone was talking about, the quality that he has. And yeah, he's just been unleashed. I know this is it's not the best comparison, but every time Hazard played, we looked to get the ball out to him to the left every single time. When Hudson-Odoi's been playing the last few games, we constantly just get the ball out to the right and just expect, okay, this guy's going to do something, give him the ball. At one point against Spurs, I think 81% of the ball was on the right-hand side, on him and James's side, because it looks like the players are going, this guy knows what he's doing. In this system, he's on form, he's on fire. So give him the ball and let him do something. So I just feel like, the momentum has shifted in his mind, in his gameplay, and, he's taken on players a lot more. He's almost just taken responsibility on and gone, okay, I'll get the goals and assists for this team if you want, Tuchel. If you believe in me, nothing against previous managers, because he's improved under the last two managers he's played under. But it just seems like Tuchel's gone, I've got a player in here and I need to unleash him, because if you don't give him enough instruction, give him enough, praise, and just to say, look,
the love, I suppose.
I just feel like he's clearly identified him as a player in the squad that, needs a little bit of that extra push to just give him that extra 10, 20%. And as I said, different animal under Tuchel. Mason Mount, I saw a really good tweet earlier in the week. I can't remember who tweeted it. It was Lampard's son, Tuchel's son, Southgate's son, and then it was, I can't remember what the last bit was.
Global son. Mason Mount, the global son.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting because a lot of people said these players might not play. And yeah, against Tottenham, as I said, other than the final ball, he was superb. The way he was switching it up, taking fouls, turning players. he was linking the play really, really nicely. So
he was brilliant. He was
yeah,
brilliant.
absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that could be a position for him that he could really, really excel in. And the same as Hudson-Odoi. I think maybe he might be better on the right, but I can see him playing in that role sometimes. And just to touch on a few other things that have been said, look, Mason Mount looks fantastic in that role. I feel he could play other roles, but that could be his role. Hudson-Odoi can play a variety of roles. But look at Kante. I've never been a fan of him as a lone DM. I feel like he's better with someone next to him. Tuchel's already said that. Marcus Alonso, great as a left wing back, awful as a left back, pretty much. There's no harm in having players that suit certain systems, because under Tuchel, we are clearly going to change things up against different teams. And if one player doesn't fit a system, not a problem, because we'll have another player that does. And then when we go back to a strength of a player like the wing backs, like I said with Alonso, he can then certainly do that role. So there's absolutely no harm in, having Kante for certain games. Like you said, I feel like even Jorginho's wasted against a low block at home. Against Burnley, I felt like he was dispensable at times, because we don't need someone sitting and holding and moving the ball on. We just need someone, we could have just, in my opinion, had one against Burnley and almost gone with 2-3 attacking mids, because we had so much of possession. So yeah, certain players are dispensable in certain systems. Certain players are good in other ones, and they're not in some. So absolutely no harm in that. It doesn't make them a bad player at all. I always had pace as a youngster. And when I played against teams that would leave him space in behind, I'd get loads of goals. But if they sat back, I wasn't able to use my pace. Look at Timo Werner. I know completely two different quality of players. But my point is, Look at Werner in the last few games, looking a lot better because he's getting the ball more, his movement. That's Tuchel's instruction. This is how I want you to play. And it just seems like now the players are so well versed into everything that they want, or everything that Tuchel wants. It's a breath of fresh air. And I'll go back to my 7 points out of 9. I'm just so happy that we got that, because I set that as a target. And I just feel like now that, the sky's the limit. And I've said top 4. Why not? Try and push as high as possible. I know the first time we get a defeat, it will all be doom and gloom again, but we just look so on it right now. And we just need to keep racking up the wins and bring on the Champions League, is what I say.
I saw your tweet about how top 3, and I didn't comment, but I wanted to say, calm down. Let's just get to top 4 first.
Yeah, top 4, of course. I think it's still close though, because it's a very strange season, and all you need to do is rack up a few wins against teams around you as well. You never know,
bro. It's going to change this. I mean, this week, if we get that win against Sheffield, which I'm massively hoping that we do. Our rivals have got some big games, so there's some points to be dropped over there if we can capitalize. So it could look very different by the end of this week again. So and the pressure is going to be on those teams that are ahead of us, because they know we are just behind them. But yeah, I'm positive that we will achieve our objective. Hopefully, top 4 as that being the number one thing. Mark, I want to talk about one more position before we get into the formation. This is an interesting one, and it's a confusing one, and it's about excuse me. It's about our strikers. At the moment, there's a lot of confusion about whether Giroud starts, Tammy starts, Werner starts. Honestly, no one can decide. You ask, there's, by the way, first of all, 51 people, 51 strong, that's on at the moment. Please smash that like button. Helps the channel out a lot. Hope you guys are enjoying this particular stream right now. I'm bringing this preview for the Sheffield United game. Smash that like button and show that appreciation, guys. But yeah, Mark, I bet you the 50 that are on right now, us 3, and if we ask anyone else, you will get multitude of different answers as to who should be the striker. And I feel like this is an issue, because if we as a fan base cannot knuckle down one particular striker that we think should play day in, day out, match in, match out, because they're far and above everyone else, then I feel like we have an issue. And I feel because of this, we are so heavily linked with Haaland at the moment, because I feel like Haaland will just come in and just be that striker that we need. But from your perspective, who needs to probably start now under Thomas Tuchel, or do you think it's more just game by game, whoever is the opposition will have a look and that particular striker starts? Or do you feel perhaps maybe Timo Werner, maybe a Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham got hooked off at halftime against Burnley. So I'm not really, a lot of people are saying he played bad. I personally thought that maybe it wasn't that bad. It was more of a tactical thing to take him off and put Pulisic because we were 1-0 up. We could have some space behind them now. But what's your thoughts about the whole striker situation? I just want to know what's your mindset at the moment with the 3 strikers that we have? Ooh, have we lost Mark? Now here we go. He's back. Mark, you there?
So can you guys see me?
Yeah.
No. You guys see me?
Yeah, it was cutting out a bit, but we can see you.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Okay. Mark, can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah.
Just
okay.
do you want to remove yourself and then come back in?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Let me remove you and then come back in. Meanwhile, we'll just entertain the live chat. Guys, what's happening? Let's read some of these. Strip Bear, thank you for being here, man. Seems channel don't want me, ouch, well, but come on, Blues. I'm not really sure what that means. Chelsea ladies, 33 unbeaten. But Chelsea fans, we move. Thank you for that. We've got Miko Dillon. Miko, thank you for being in the stream, my man. Pulisic can do that, I think, Hope at OB TV. I think he's talking to OB over there. Seth, Alonso should be our striker. I think he's getting used as a striker anyway, to be honest. So at the end of the day, that's the case there. Mark, you're back. How's things? Can you hear us? Mark?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can, but you're just a bit delayed.
Okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Go on.
So I don't know what's going on. Okay. So I think that from all the 50 Blues that we have connected today and us, I think we all have, I'm sure we all have our own opinion, but at least through my perspective, I think there isn't a right option right now. And I'll tell you what I mean with this. I think that we've seen the 3 of our strikers play under Tuchel at the moment. If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've seen
Giroud, all 3 have played. Yeah.
Right. You know, and as I was saying before when we started, I think that we haven't really seen anyone giving us that end product up front, at least not yet. So I think it's up for grabs for them. You know, I think Tuchel should just rotate them depending on who we're playing against and just see who is more informed than the others. So for now, what I would do is just rotate them and see who can do it better. I can't really tell you anything that I really want to succeed at Chelsea personally is Timo Werner. I've seen what he's done in the Bundesliga, and I think it was amazing. But I actually want to see him do that at Chelsea, but it just doesn't look like it right now. So I think 3 of them just have to fight for their place, and Tuchel should give the chance to the 3 of them, just rotating them at the moment.
No, fair point, man. Fair point. Jonathan, just quickly from your side, your thoughts about the striker situation at the moment?
3 different strikers, 3 different styles of play. Depending on what you want to do, play the one that suits that the most. I felt like Werner was a good option against Spurs. And I felt like, you know, it was one of his better performances of late. You know, there was a lot of shouts about Giroud before the game. I just don't feel like he would have been the best option because he's a lot more static. We needed a player with more movement to allow, because I wanted 2 attacking mids to play. I said it, you know, earlier in the week against Tottenham's 2 attacking mids that could really move them around. And they span so many of the Tottenham midfielders on their feet. So, yeah, I just feel like if you want to have someone to play off, play Giroud, someone who's going to be in the box for headers and crosses. If you want Abraham, who's going to drift out to the wing, drop a little bit deeper, but also, you know, look to get in on crosses as well. And you've got Werner, who is, you know, someone that wants to run in behind, use his pace. So use players for the system that you want to play and the style you want to play for that game. So yeah, like Mark said, just rotate. And play the striker that's probably going to give you the best from that game. So against Sheffield United, they're going to be a lot more compact, in my opinion. I feel like they will sit a bit deeper, especially with Ampadu not playing. I don't think the centre-backs will step out as much as they have done. It will be the wing-backs that will look to get forward and then obviously support the two strikers with one of the midfielders as well. So I feel like going two up front might be a good option. So maybe an Abraham and a Werner. I feel like he will play Werner. I feel like he wants to give him some game time and get some form back. So maybe a two up front might be a good option just to cause some problems against this Sheffield United defence, get them moving around because, they haven't been fantastic at corners. They haven't been very good in quick transitions recently, if you go through the highlights. So I think it's certainly something we can exploit.
No, for sure, man. I think, we've already seen the two up front. There was Timo Werner and I think it was it Timo Werner and Tammy Abraham, or maybe Timo Werner and Giroud in one of the matches. So, that's definitely a possibility. Werner playing as one of the inside forwards. Good commentary from Deep State again. Giroud needs to work on his gegenpress. I think this is a massive one. I think this is probably one of the reasons why Giroud hasn't been playing that often, because when you do lose the ball or when you're without the ball, we do need to press. And our pressing has been very, very good. So this is something that Giroud, pressing takes a lot out of you. So, this probably could be one of the reasons why Giroud may not play that many. Boys, let's get into our formations, lineups. I'll go to Mark first of all. Mark, my man, what formation? Guessing you would stick with the three, the wing backs, the double sixes, and then however you want to play up top. Is that how you're sort of looking into it? You're thinking about that crazy style that Jonathan sort of laid out, that go back to the four at the back, or are you going with the three?
Mm-hmm. I'll stick with the three just because it's working, and I think that when something works, just don't change it, just work a bit more on it. So I would go with three at the back.
Who's your keeper? Let's go from the back. Mendy,
so obviously,
for sure.
Willy Caballero. Mendy. So on that centre right back, I would put Cesar Azpilicueta.
Mm-hmm. I think Thiago Silva's out for this game, guys. I don't think he's fit.
He's out. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to change that then. I would actually put in the middle, I would go with a crazy one. I'd go with Azpilicueta in the middle, actually.
Wow. Not Christensen? Christensen played pretty good, man, off the bench the other day.
He did, but I kind of get this feeling where you might not agree with me, but I just get this feeling where it's just so unpredictable. I mean, he can be as good as he was the other day, or he can be, I don't know, just with his mind at home. So I don't know.
You do need a ball player, I feel, in the middle of that three centre backs. That's why you see Thiago Silva and Christensen. How much are you feeling that Aspi could possibly do that in the middle?
Well, Aspi has been quite good. He knows how to pass the ball. I think he's even actually better with the ball on his feet than Christensen. So I'm actually quite confident if Azpilicueta would stay there. And he's also a leader. I think he can read the game from there in a better manner. So I would give him a chance. We've also seen him play as a CB, and he's done quite well. So, I'm going to stick with that. On that,
who's in your right side? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go a bit wild here. I'm going to put Reece James.
On the left, CB.
I'll go for Rudiger there. Although Zuma is, I'll let Rudiger there.
I think Zuma's still injured, maybe.
Is he still injured? I'm not sure. Okay.
I think so. Okay. I'm not sure either, but double sixes.
Yeah, that for me is going to be Kovacic. I'll go for Jorginho there. Yeah.
Wingbacks.
Callum Hudson-Odoi. Marcus Alonso.
I see where you're going. Look, we'll talk about it. I see why you might have gone with Atsby, but we'll talk about that. How are you playing the front? Are you playing sort of like this, two up front with the 10, or are you playing with the one?
I prefer that. I prefer to have a number 10 out there and 2
Okay,
up
so
top.
you're playing 2 up top with a 10.
Yeah,
Okay, so who's your 10?
that would be. So against Sheffield, I would put Ziyech there, and I'll give Mason Mount a rest, and probably he could come in the second half.
Fair enough. Who's your strikers?
Okay, that would be Werner. And I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I would actually put Kai Havertz up there.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know. 39 people that have at the moment who's on, and later on, whoever is going to be on, comment below. This is Mark's team. Mendy at the back. Look, I want to comment to you, Mark, just quickly in regards to this. Azpilicueta has always, as you know, we've always known he's played in the right CB, so it's very, very comfortable for him. Do you know what I mean? Playing in the middle. We've seen someone like Thiago Silva and Andres Christensen. They're heavily involved in the playmaking from the back. They touch the ball a lot more. Aspi's connections on the right side, along with Callum Hudson-Odoi, or even if it's Reece James, and overlapping from that right side is very, very important for us. I do see why you've done this, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you wanted to have Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi in the game. Is that why you've sort of accommodated for this?
100%. And I do actually understand why a lot of people can be shocked with what I've picked here, and I really understand. But this would be my lineup against Sheffield. This wouldn't be my best lineup, And something that I want to make clear as well is that Mason Mount, for me, has been our best player. I mean, that is clear for me. He's been our best player.
From Miko Dillon, no Mason, Mark.
See, I knew that was coming. But I'm in love with Mason Mount. The only thing is that I think Ziyech needs to play. I would give him that chance. I think he's so intelligent on the ball, and he's got magic, right? That's why he's a wizard. And I think he can do a great job against Sheffield as a number 10. And if it doesn't work, then Mason Mount can come in. But if it does work, just give the lad a rest, and I think we will all be happy with that.
Look, I love Mason Mount as well at the moment. I mean, how can you drop someone with that sort of, the energy that Tuchel that's been saying post match about Mason Mount, all the sort of, and his game has been so good as well. But look, I understand what you've done here, and especially the front three is so mobile. You could probably at times have something like this as well throughout the game, change things around. You could also at times have it like this, and that's the fluidity of this particular formation. And as you said, you've gone with something like this for the time being. But that front three could constantly move around, and that's the beauty about that particular front three. Jonathan, just quickly before we get to your lineup, what do you think about this lineup from Mark?
It's interesting. I think there will certainly be changes because we played Thursday night, recovery day Friday, Saturday they probably would have trained with Thiago Silva out. We've got to make changes. So I feel like he will freshen it up certainly. I think we've got Barnsley. Is it Barnsley next Thursday?
Yeah,
I believe so. Again, that could be a game that he looks to rotate as well. But maybe I think it'll be 2-3 changes, and then it'll be a real reshuffle against Barnsley. So one of them's got to be the centre back with Silva out, and then some others. Yeah, I mean it's certainly a team that could win in my opinion, and I do want to see Havertz up front or further forward, shall we say, in this Tuchel team. And Ziyech, we all know the quality he has. It's just like we've talked about with Mason Mount, whether you can drop him last few games. But you've got to make big calls as a manager. Mark's made some certainly big calls here, so why not?
Yes. He's raised some eyebrows in this particular live chat as well. Just quickly, shout out to Kevin K. He's the GOAT, man. Thank you so much for that. Honestly, that's really, really nice. Another comment here. I think Aspie is good going forward. As CB Hill will be wasted. There's a dig at Mark right there. But look,
it's
we all see
it is a risk.
We all see the game differently, and then we should respect that. Ritam, British media would tear apart Tuchel for not playing Mason after the man of the match against Spurs.
Yes.
Look, there will be games where Mason won't play, and I think it may be good for him not to play every single game, and that could probably bring out the best out of him. But Jonathan, let's now talk about your particular team. How you're setting up? Obviously, Caballero as a keeper.
Let's get Rob Green back for a game. It's definitely many in goal. I mean, in terms of Rudiger, I think he will start. It's those two roles, isn't it? The centre back there and then the right centre back that are going to be the ones.
Formation, or you're changing the formation?
I mean, I'll stick with this because this seems to be the one that is the most popular. You've obviously played this the last 3 games. So as much as I think it could be 4-3-2-1, let's go with this at the moment. I think RJ is a really good shout as that right centre back.
Yeah,
because his pace. And the fact that it just gives us a bit more going forward. I really like that shout. But I do feel like Azpilicueta will probably play there. Because to change the back line so much, with obviously Silva being out, is maybe a little bit of a risk, maybe one risk too far for Tuchel. So I feel like he probably will bring in Christensen and retain Azpilicueta as the right centre-back. So, but as I said, I really like that James shout. And against other teams, maybe if Silva was playing, if Tuchel felt like he had a bit more stability there with Silva in behind, maybe he would try that. In terms of the wing-backs, we're going to play wing-backs, Alonso and Hudson-Odoi all day long. Kovacic and Jorginho, fair play to them. I didn't think it was the best option against Spurs. Proved wrong. Yeah. And if you prove wrong, no harm in holding your hands up because Jorginho and Kovacic were clearly, drilled as to exactly what they needed to do. And then, like you said earlier, Miz, as soon as it was changed and Kante came on, we looked a little bit unstable. So, massive kudos to them. The front three, I feel like he will continue Timo Werner up top. I just feel like the two behind, I'm going to stick with Kai Havertz. I want to see Havertz if he's back from injury because there's not really been any talk about Zuma and Havertz. I just looked through Chelsea's Twitter just now, and I can't even see anything on the injuries. So if Havertz is fit, I want him to start, but I don't feel like he will. I think he'll go with Mason Mount, and then because Havertz isn't going to be fit, maybe you sort of have Werner behind. Or playing alongside an Abraham up front. Because again, I want to see a bit of movement with Abraham up front. So it could be Werner and then Abraham. Again, it all depends, in my opinion, on whether Havertz is fit, whether Zuma's fit, because I think both of them could play. But just going on what I know, this is the lineup I would say he'll probably go with, to be honest.
Fair enough, my man. I mean, the live chat, please let us know what you think about Jonathan's lineup. Look, I've got no issues with this particular lineup because, it pretty much carries the same sort of, the continuation, I suppose, of the success in recent times. The only thing is there's always going to be a little bit of a confusion as to, what we do up front with the 3. You've gone with Mason, Werner, Tammy, and that's where a lot of the disagreements will happen across all of the fan base where, they may want, for example, Mark was wanting Kai Havertz and Timo Werner and Ziyech. And this is going to be interesting. We've got a lot of depth now. So, players don't have any chance to sort of muck about and relax. They really have to go at it. There was a really nice comment here. I want to bring this up. Yeah, something about, Chilwell. I think Chile will start this time. Just quickly from all of you guys. Mark, first of all, I've been a bit critical of Chilwell in recent times. I don't think he has been that great over the last probably 6-7 games during our bad form. But I feel now, it'll be a very big kick up the backside for him, knowing that under Thomas Tuchel, with the formation that we're currently playing, I completely understand it could probably change down the track. But at the moment, there's a lot of wing-back sort of, situation that's happening. And Alonso hasn't done utterly bad, and Tuchel using Alonso really, honestly, this is exactly what's happening. If we're being honest, this is exactly what's happening.
He's literally coming in back post every single time. It's ridiculous, isn't it? And that's why Ziyech could be really good if he plays sort of, with that in-swinging ball. That's why I wouldn't, I've gone very safe with my lineup, despite me wanting saying he might go 4 at the back. But I like Mark's, enthusiasm to change things. And obviously I love the 4th guest we've got on as well.
Yeah, nice to see the dog out there. But
sorry about that. She was
Alonso is
crying.
playing.
That's it.
Alonso is playing more of a forward, and he's very clinical up there. We've seen him, he can finish. So, Mark, just quickly, your thoughts on Chilwell, man. I mean, this guy, he really has his work cut out at the moment, yeah?
Yeah. Thing is that I actually really want to see Chilwell coming. I want to see him play because I think that, as you mentioned, he hasn't been good in recent games or in recent months, to be honest. And I think that he just knew he was the preferred option. He was just too comfortable, and he knew that whatever happened, he was going to play. Look at his reaction when Tuchel wanted to sub him. He was just like,
yeah, he was like, me,
yeah, like, are you sure what you're doing?
That's right, you.
yeah, exactly. So for me, that was clear that he just had his place guaranteed under Lampard, no matter what, and that has changed. And I'm not a big fan of changing managers, but when these things happen, it's good news. It's good news because the positives of it is that you're going to see players who were living in the shadow have a new opportunity to come up. Players like Chilwell in this case that were so comfortable, they're in risk of being dropped. So I've got that thing that I don't know because we haven't seen it, but I really want to see Chilwell play now because just to see if he has improved, if he's more concentrated,
and that he can play as a wing back because wing back is a very specialist sort of position. You're really a winger. You're really a winger.
Exactly, yeah. It is, and no one here can say Chilwell can't play as a wing back because we haven't seen it. So what I would do is give him a chance. If tomorrow Tuchel thinks is a good day to put him there, try him out. Why not? I like this sort of brave changes, and if Alonso starts, if we're winning, I don't know, 2-0 second half, just make the change. See how the side works.
Fair point. Quickly here from DJ Sav J17, Aston Villa straight away 1-0. I just looked at the scores. This is great. Want to keep Arsenal away as far behind as possible from us. But then again, Aston Villa do want them to also drop points because they have games in hand. So if they keep going and winning, they become
get a draw. That would be good.
Yeah, a draw would be perfect, to be honest. But at the end of the day, I do like seeing Arsenal lose. But that's something else. Just quickly, boys, I'll go through my lineup. It's pretty much the same as this, to be honest. As Jonathan, the only difference that I would probably have is, I'll show you guys. I'll definitely play Mason Mount. I'd probably play him on the right side. Actually, no. You know what? I might mix this up because I am a bit biased. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be like that. I know you don't want bias. You want more sort of rational thinking, but sometimes I just need to be a little bit biased. Everyone has the right to be biased. And for me, Hakim Ziyech is the player. I'm in love with that guy, man. I want to see him start. It does hurt me when he doesn't play, honestly. And then, I feel like he's an X factor for us. I know he hasn't been the greatest in recent times, but with him in the lineup, I get a lot excited because he's got those crazy passes. He's got those. I just remember those days from Ajax, I suppose, and even the early days of Chelsea where he was playing. When he came from the injury, he was quite instrumental. Especially, in fact, in this particular game, the earlier fixture against Sheffield, Ziyech was very, very important in that particular fixture. And I just hope that we see that particular player back. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on my. It'd be good to actually have my lineup out there. How about that? This is my lineup, guys. Timo Werner up front, Mason Mount, Ziyech, Alonso, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kalamantan-Odoi, Rudiger, Andres Christensen, Azpilicueta, and Mendy. That's my lineup, guys, for this particular match against Sheffield United. Guys, that pretty much brings us very, very close to the end of this particular preview. We've covered almost everything. I'm not sure, has there been a press conference on this particular match yet, guys, or will there be one?
I can't see it. That's what I was looking for. Yeah,
I think there will be, but
must be. Yeah,
it hasn't been yet.
I mean, all the games have already. So generally, press conferences happen before the match week starts, right?
before the game week starts. Yeah, yesterday it should have been, but I guess it was a day off. I mean, one thing I'll quickly say in your defence is Ziyech has finally got someone in Alonso that will be on the end of his ball because he always occupies that position. Which, so, I'll certainly.
He'll be down here. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, and then Ziyech can drift in field and allow Hudson-Odoi to overlap. They can then underlap, so it could work. I'm not totally adverse to that at all. I think Ziyech is another option, and as I said, I think there'll be 2-3 changes. And if there's a formation change, I'm going to be very, very smug, by the way.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I completely understand that. But yeah, boys, some final thoughts. This could be 3 wins in a row for us. I don't think we've done 3 wins in a row in the Premier League for a very long time. Last time I checked, we won 7 in a row. That was in November, but I don't think it was 3 Premier League wins. There was some Champions League wins thrown in between. So
we haven't won back-to-back since like November, December until these 2. So
exactly. So 3 in a row will be fantastic. Some final thoughts, Mark. I'll go to you. How important is this game, man, in the whole scheme of things for you?
Super important, especially as you mentioned. The big boys of the league are having tough games this week and the next week. So I think it's super important for us to start winning. 3 points, it's much needed. Not even for now. It's much needed for next season. You know what I mean? Like we need Champions League. If we want to make signings, like we said at the start of the program, like Haaland, Alaba, all these are the best players, and best players want to play in the Champions League. So winning is much needed right now. It doesn't matter who we're playing, and especially. As we said, with the big boys, they could drop points. It could be a good opportunity. Sheffield has lost 17 games, if I'm not wrong. Let's make it 18. That's
brilliant.
my opinion.
Brilliant. Jonathan, from your point of view, man, confident going into this game, and obviously the 3 back-to-back wins will be massive for the whole scheme of things for top 4 race.
100%. We need to keep winning. And like I said earlier, I just don't feel like Tuchel's going to allow them to drop the level. And as I said, all that good work the last 3 games, we've improved with every game. We've got the 7 out of 9 points. If we go and lose this game now or drop points, it's going to be a real kick in the teeth. And yeah, I really do hope that we turn up. If we start with the same pace that we did against Spurs, early goal, they then have to come out and press and come out and play. Plays right into our hands. So that's all I'd say. Tuchel is going to get these players fired up, I hope.
No, 100%. It's so well said, Jonathan, in regards to how we've been starting quick. Every match we've been playing, we've been actually starting good with the right mentality. So hopefully Tuchel continues that. I'm pretty sure he will. He is too experienced not to let his players know that you cannot start slow. You cannot start slow at this level, because teams like Sheffield United just beat Man United, who were leading the table just a few games ago. So, surprises are not really surprises, to be honest, in this particular league. So that's what I want to leave it to. Guys, I'm very confident we will win. Hopefully we'll come back. I know, Jonathan, I will have you back for the review. Mark, we will see you again, hopefully next week. Until then, everyone, hope you guys all enjoyed it. Please smash that like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I may possibly have a show at the end of all the matches today, just to recap where the Premier League is at in terms of the top 4 race, and just do a little bit of highlights, sort of, catch up with a couple of other Chelsea fans. I may do that, so possibly look out for that. That could be somewhere around 10 p.m. UK time. Once all the matches are finished, just to see where things are at. And then obviously we will be back for the review for the Sheffield match on Sunday, I suppose. So yeah, guys.
No watch along at 3 o'clock. Sydney time. Unbelievable, Miz. 6:15. You got to wake up for this game. Can't even do a watch along. Unbelievable.
No watch along for this. Man. Watch alongs, they take a lot of energy out of me. But watch alongs will come out very soon, man. I mean, I may do this here and there sporadically, but yeah, just quickly shout out to DJ Sav's Gay Show, Miz, as always, the panel as well. Stay safe and peace, 100%. Thank you so much, guys. Deep State, thank you, my man, for hanging in there for the whole show. And to everyone as well, thank you heaps. Until next time, see ya.